What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. Today, we're jumping into a brand new drop from Rayvanny. This one alongside Zuchu, and it goes by the name I Miss You. It's just the audio at the moment. The audio dropped today. It dropped about 5 hours ago. I've only just seen it actually drop today, so we're going to jump into it now. I know there are a lot of Rayvanny fans on the channel, so I'm very excited to jump into this one. It's already on over 100k. This one's doing absolute bits. As always, if you are new to the channel, though, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. We're going to have a very enjoyable reaction today, so let's jump right into it. The sounds of Rayvanny featuring Zuchu with I Miss You. Love the panpipes across the intro. Woo! Love the kind of twitches in the melody. Okay, I see where we're going. Okay, it's a very nice intro. Again, taking elements that you would typically kind of hear in a lot of modern Latin stuff. Those sort of drum sounds, very typical to that sort of Latin sound that's going on at the moment. There's a lot of different people kind of focusing on those sort of very kind of carnivalesque sort of drum themes, and I know they're being used across the world at the moment. So it's really interesting to hear. On top of that, this very kind of sensual bridge running throughout the middle of the tune as well. Very much about the kind of delicacy of Rayvanny's voice, which works really nicely. Again, the intro's nice. I love as I said before, the twitchiness of the melodies on this is quite interesting to listen through. It's a good start. I'm excited to see where this one goes as well. It looks like it's a popular tune already. I do like Rayvanny's voice, I've got to say. It's the thud of those drums, man. There's something really enjoyable about the way those drums kind of land, because they're so punchy and so in your face and so kind of they're almost like over compressed. They're almost distorted in how punchy they are, but they just give the track this kind of this rolling drive. They give it this kind of natural movement, and it gives it it just makes you want to move. Like, it's impossible to keep your lower half still. If you listen to this tune, you just want to kind of jump around to it. It's cool. Again, I love how delicate Rayvanny's sounding over the intro as well. He's not getting hyped up. He's not going OTT. He's being very, very delicate with the approach he's taking, which works really nicely. Again, loving the sounds of this one. I'm interested to hear what Zuchu adds to it as well. I love the fact that they are utilising what an auto-tune can do as well. Again, it's a conversation I have on this channel quite a lot of the time. Should we have auto-tune? Is it a thing that kind of ruins vocals? I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's a creative tool. And when you're able to kind of utilise what an auto-tune does and get that kind of really electronic sounding vocal and get those kind of natural swerves and glides that it brings, I think it actually adds things to tune. It adds texture, it adds direction, and it gives things that extra kind of spark with vocals. It allows you to do different things with vocals, and I think this is a really good example of that happening. Again, those backing vocals with the auto-tune sound great. Yeah, this is cool, man. I think as a direction, I wasn't sure about it when I got into the first kind of minute or so. Again, it's a sound that we hear quite a lot. It's not like it's not as if this is a new sound. But I think Rayvanny's doing a good job of making it his own. Again, the kind of harmonising over the chorus block, giving it again a level of kind of depth and vocal texture. The instrumental itself is really simple. You've got a bass line underneath and those drums. That's the majority of what the instrumental is. There isn't really much melody going on. It is primarily all about the vocals and what the vocals bring to the tune. Again, a lot of kind of twitches and turns in the way it sounds, but it definitely works. I think Rayvanny's doing a very good job on this one. Woo! Let's go, Zuchu. You see, even that to me, Loving the cellos that are rolling in across the background on this bit as well. Just an extra kind of layer of, again, depth, emotion that you can kind of layer into something like this. There isn't really much going on instrumentally, so when you kind of add an instrument like a cello, which is a naturally very emotive sounding instrument, when you can kind of layer that in a little bit later on, it allows it to build and it allows it to go somewhere else. Again, this is what I'm talking about with auto-tune, allowing just the vocals to become a piece of instrumentation, to become almost like a synth line, with that sort of da-da-da-da-da-da. Da, 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 da. That little melody there, vocal wise, again, just gives depth, and it gives it just gives it something extra, you know. It gives it an extra dash of spice into the mix of what's going on. I'm interested to hear the verse line. Let's go. Again, those vocal twitches are great. That natural vibrato sounds fantastic, man. Again, this backdrop here makes it sound like we're in the build-up to a D&B tune. The kind of really spacey, kind of floaty textures work really nicely. And then on top of that as well, when you kind of fold in, again, going back to the sort of auto-tune vocal, again, the vocal verse was really nice. Again, almost moving into kind of Eastern-style melodies, with a lot of the kind of Arabic scales that are being used with the vocals. The way that you're kind of moving along the pentatonics works really, really nicely. It's really, really cool. For those that aren't aware, the pentatonic scale is basically when you have a keyboard in front of you, all of the middle notes, all of the black notes in between the white keys, those are the pentatonics, basically. So if you play all of those, that's the pentatonic scale. And it gives you these really nice kind of drifts. It's used quite a lot in Eastern music as well to give this kind of sense of mysteriousness. It's a cool thing to do, and we're hearing her kind of dip into that with the vocals, which works really nicely. Really delicate. There's an extra bit of drum that's come into this that I want to talk about, because the actual instrumental itself we can hear, not a lot has happened the entire time we've been listening through. It's been very kind of static, like it's literally just been drums, bass, occasionally like an instrumental flutter arrives, but something's changed. We've now got this extra kind of drum, this snare line, which is literally just double hitting in the middle of the thing. It's now just going boom, da, da, this extra snare line that's kind of arrived out of nowhere, and with that you just get an extra sense of percussive kind of direction, you get an extra sense of progression, and it allows the tune to grow and move, because at this point, with 3 minutes in, it feels like we've heard everything we're gonna hear from the tune. I feel the last minute of the tune is just gonna be an extended hook, but at least that extra level of percussion gives it something different. Those keys are nice in the background as well. I think that's the cool thing about this tune, the fact that we are getting new things slowly added in. It's a very progressive tune. It's not necessarily something that's jumping out at you from the jump and going, bang, this is the main event. It slowly progresses. I'm not saying it's an Amapiano tune in any way, because it very clearly isn't, but it's a similar thing we hear in a lot of Amapiano. Very progressive, very kind of very euphoric in the way it builds up. This has got a similar element. It's obviously not an Amapiano tune. The rhythms are completely different, and you haven't got a lot of that typical instrumentation, but that feeling of constant growth and progression is definitely within the makeup of this one. So Zuchu's done the majority of the vocal input on this tune. Interesting. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Looking at it, Rayvanny's hardly appeared. Like, he's across the intro and it's his tune, but Zuchu has done the vast majority of the vocals on this. Again, it's something I don't really get when you're the main artist on a tune and you do the least on a tune. I've never really understood that from an artist perspective. Like, surely it should just be an and rather than a featuring, because Zuchu's done the majority of the vocal work. For the last 2.5 minutes, all we've been hearing is, well, the last 2 minutes, shall we say, has been nothing but Zuchu, and that means she's taken up the majority of the tune. So, I don't know, I think it shouldn't be named as a featuring. Obviously, Rayvanny's the bigger artist and has a kind of global appeal, so it makes sense on a marketing level. But for me, I just want to name it Rayvanny and Zuchu. Again, it's just a tiny little nerdy detail, which this is what I'm here for. I'm here to assess the nerdy details. It's a nice tune, man. Definitely has a kind of it's quite a safe tune though, that's what I'll say. It's a nice little melody to round us off with, but there we go. We're going to let this one run out to the end in just a second. But again, yeah, just to kind of say what I mean. When I say a safe tune, I mean they haven't really done anything that we haven't heard before. Like, all of these elements are things that we've heard before, and obviously not every tune under the sun can be brand new. Every tune can't be a complete innovation. That just doesn't happen. There isn't enough innovation to happen within sound. There are a lot of elements that have kind of been thrown together to kind of create something that's moderately like a unique blend of those things. But there are no real elements here that we haven't heard before. So it's well arranged, it's nice to listen to, but it's not blown my mind, shall we say. We'll let it run through to the end and then give our final breakdown. There we go then, Rayvanny featuring Zuchu with I Miss You. Nice outro. Again, it's got a few kind of interesting elements. I love the fact that you do kind of hear them dipping into those sort of Arabic scales throughout the instrumentation. Again, on the vocals as well, utilising the sort of electronic side of things and giving it that kind of natural flutter. Again, I like the vocal matchup. I would have liked to have heard a bit more Rayvanny on this one. Again, I'm not blown away by it, but it is solid. Like, it's solid. There's nothing you can really take away from it. It's just a very safe collaboration more than anything else, but solid work overall. So there we go, guys. If you did enjoy this musical analysis and technical breakdown, I know this is a slightly longer video purely because the tune's slightly longer. That's the only reason why, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff, and we shall see you all next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a good one.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.